All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another edition of Dom and Gonz Sports Talk, the show where we not only talk about everything Baltimore Ravens, but around the NFL. And welcome back to another Ravens post-game live stream. Dom, everything okay over there?
Yeah, mic difficulties. Give me 1 second. Trying to
Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you just fine. I'm just trying to connect my joints. We'll keep it rolling though. Let's keep rolling as I try.
All right. Okay, so as I was saying, welcome back to another post-game live stream, wrapping up week 7. Is that true? Week 7? Wow, can't believe it. We are rolling through the season. We're here to talk about the dominating 38-6 Baltimore Ravens victory over the Detroit Lions on Sunday at 1 p.m. at the Bank. Oh my gosh, what a great game. It was a party at the stadium. No stress, no high blood pressure. Everybody was just vibing out, having a good time. I loved it. I absolutely loved going and just relaxing and enjoying the views and enjoying the vibes and not having to worry about losing. It was just great. It was great. Absolutely loved it. I mean, so many things about this game that I absolutely loved. All those things we broke down on Saturday, they nailed it right on the head. All the things that I was talking about, especially on the defensive side of the ball with rattling Goff. And boy, did they rattle him all day long. And that defense was stifling. It was a pretty thing to see, and I loved it, every minute of it. Offense, oh my gosh. Red zone scoring, that was my number one thing in Saturday's pregame show. 5 for 6 in the red zone. Just wow. I guess they proved me wrong. I said this was not going to be something they could fix in 5 days, and whoa, they really proved me wrong going 5 for 6. I mean, is it back for sure now? Is it going to be consistently back? Hopefully, because we don't want to be going 1 for 6 in the red zone in the future. So hopefully that red zone offense is here to stay. That would be very great. But anyway, Dom, how you doing tonight, and how did you feel about that game on Sunday?
Oh man, it's so good to be here on Victory Monday. Let me tell you right now, going into Sunday, okay, I know I couldn't, because of technical difficulties, I couldn't finish the pregame show. But man, before we ended it, I was gonna give my prediction. I thought this was gonna be a nitty-gritty game where we're gonna have to fight tooth and nail against a good offense, a great head coach, and just a great team overall. The Lions are not a bad team; they're a top 5 team in the NFC. So I was expecting a battle. Boy, I've never been happier to be wrong in my life. How was the battle? That was a slaughter. That wasn't even I don't know. Where's this been all season? The way that these guys were performing, it was incredible. Every single aspect of the game was clicking. Offense, defense, special teams. Everybody just played great. Lamar had a game. Zay had a game. Andrews had a game on National Tight End Day. Not Andrews. I was stunned. Stunned in a good way though. I was just really shocked. And we'll break down the game honestly about everything that went down. But man, I was shocked, man. That was not how I thought that game was gonna go. And then the buzzer hits at the last 0.000 seconds, and we win 38-6 against the Detroit Lions. I'll take that any day of the week, and I'm hyped, man. I'm hyped to see if this offense can continue to be like that going forward.
Right. I agree. Two quick things. First, this team is so effing confusing. I just don't understand it. They go 1 week from going losing 10-17 to the Steelers, dropping every pass, and just a heartbreaking loss on offense, and the offense leaving that performance with a lot left on the field and so many woulda, coulda, shouldas. Then they go to Tennessee and they go 1 for 6 in the red zone. And you just feel like this offense can't quite put it together. Before this week, they were struggling to score. I mean, they were doing okay early in the year, but then the red zone offense came an issue. This offense could not click consistently, and then they drop a game like this on the top team in the NFC, where they just are all around dominant. I don't get it. I really don't get it. This team has got to be the most confusing team. Like the Ravens make you think that there's a struggling football team trying to find things and get things together, and then they have a performance like this against the leader of the NFC. I mean, if that doesn't show you that AFC just completely outclasses NFC, I don't know what to tell you. I mean, Chiefs are way better. I mean, Ravens just stopped, like we just said. The Detroit Lions topped the NFC with a 5-1 record.
And
Got
the Lions
stopped.
beat the Chiefs.
So
The Lions literally beat the Chiefs.
I don't know. The NFL is crazy. And the second thing, we were finally able to see what this offense looks like when it's kicking in full gears. My gosh, if the receivers are catching the ball, if Lamar has time to throw, if his decision making is on point, I mean, it's been pretty on point all season, and they're not fumbling every single thing away. Justice Hill, don't do that again, by the way. You could see what this team has. You could see their potential. You could see what this offense is trying to be. I mean, it's just, this is scary. This is scary. This is how they go to the Super Bowl. This is the kind of offense we need to see in the playoffs. And I think today, while obviously we're not going to have 38-6 every single week, we got a glimpse on what this Todd Monken offense can look like when everybody's firing on all cylinders. Everybody's clicking. Everybody's going together. Offensive line is doing their thing. Running backs doing their thing. This is what they can be. They can be this powerhouse on offense. Now, like they just showed it. They just showed the world this is their max potential when they're at their best. So now we know that we definitely can be dominant on offense. Now we got to be able to prove consistently week in and week out that we can play at a high level. Now, like I said, I understand we're not going to put up 40 points or 38 points every game. But if we can show this sort of chemistry and consistency throughout the upcoming weeks as we get closer to December, I mean, this could be a pretty scary offense. And yesterday was a nice reminder that we definitely have a good offense. We definitely can be a dominant offense. So that was very exciting to see, in my opinion. Yeah.
I don't even think I'm not gonna lie to you. I know this is a great showing, and I don't even think we scratched the surface of what we can really do on offense. Like, if you think about it, once we work in OBJ a lot more, like we target him more. Zay has been great all year. So, I mean, we know what we're getting out of Zay. Once we, start really putting OBJ into these situations, once Bateman, who had a pretty good game this game, I feel like, he's making his way towards a bounce back. He had 2 really crucial catches in that first half, both, I think, for first downs, I think. So, I mean, I think he's slowly starting to gain his confidence back, which is great to see. But once we start working in these guys a lot more, man. And even Pat Ricard caught a pass. How much did that pass go for again? I know that he said that was the longest of his career. I forgot how long that went.
8 yards.
It was
28 yards.
Dude, Pat Ricard's out here catching passes. Gus Edwards went for 80 on a pass. Once this offense clicks fully, oh my goodness, we are going to be an issue. It's beautiful to see.
The rhythm was so beautiful. So many crossing patterns, just excellent. Timing out routes, just beautifully in rhythm.
He was out here throwing dots.
Yeah.
Throwing dots out here. He was 21 for 27, 357 for 2 passing touchdowns, 155.3 passer rating. What more can you add? And he had 9 rushes for 36 yards and a touchdown.
Yeah, don't cheat him out of that 3. He had 3 and a rushing, so 4 total.
He had 3 total. But
3 passing and 1 rushing, 4.
Oh yeah, I forgot. Andrews.
You got the
Andrews
1 to Nelly, and
right?
then 2 to Andrews, and then the rushing one.
So yeah, so I was like, I don't think you can get any. You can't ask your quarterback to do more than what he did yesterday. That was a showing. all the Lamar can't pass allegations, but what do you say about that? When he only missed 6 passes and he's throwing for over 300 yards, what do you do in that situation?
But what I loved about this, though, this wasn't a Lamar Jackson running around, throwing on the run type. This was Lamar picking you apart from the pocket. He only had 36 yards rushing. That's it. He only had 36 yards.
Offensive line.
This was a passing day. And he was, I mean, yes, he extended some plays, but he was not looking to take off every single play, I don't think. Some of those were designed. Obviously, the touchdown was a designed run as well. But the 21 for 27 passes, that is a beautiful thing. I mean, he was just carving people up, carving up that Lions defense, who, mind you, was number 3 in the NFL. This was a solid defense, and we made them look like the worst defense in the NFL. It was just crazy, absolutely insane.
You gotta tip your hat, and we can't. And I've been saying it. You gotta tip your hat to the offensive line. They allowed 0 sacks in that game. They held Aiden Hutchinson to absolutely nothing. They've been banged up for most of this year. They've been recovering from injuries, but man, have they been. You really got to tip your cap to the offensive line this year because they've really been playing very, very well. And then those guys who have had to step in, like when Linderbaum and when Stanley went down, we have a great line core, and I love seeing them perform the way that they did yesterday because not even letting somebody even brush on Lamar, it was beautiful. He had all day. He had all day to throw. Like that one touchdown pass to Nelly when he was just ducking and diving and waiting for somebody to get open. It was beautiful to see. Shout out to the offensive line, man. They did their thing in that game yesterday. No complaints on my part.
Yeah. I absolutely loved it. And I really love how the wide receivers have not dropped any passes now after that Steelers game. And it's just.
No, let's hope they do that on the last game of the season when we see them again.
I don't even care about that game. They can sweep us for all I care. If we have a playoff spot locked up and they don't, who cares? I mean, that's kind of like what the Steelers have had. The Steelers have our number, but they're never in the playoffs, so who cares? That's fine.
Trust me, I'm right there with you, but it's more than it. This is that's a
I would rather lose to the Steelers every single year if we can guarantee good playoff success and they're not in it. And if we have a shot at the Super Bowl and they have 0 shot, you can beat us every year. Who cares? I mean, if you want to make yourself feel better by talking trash saying the Ravens suck, that's fine. What have you accomplished? Nothing. You have Kenny Pickett. He's trash. I mean, it is whatever. And we're going to talk about that game, too. We're going to talk about Rams-Steelers, too. Another bail for the Steelers and another self-implosion by an opponent in the Rams. But we'll talk about that in a little bit. Let's give a special shout-out to this Ravens defense before we talk about these other games. My gosh, the Ravens defense, they're a real threat. I felt like they were going to have a decent game. After you got disconnected, Dom, I predicted 23-17 for my final score. So I thought the defense was going to have a day where, they kept the Lions in check, but not like this. 6 points. This was one of the top offenses, most efficient, most, taking care of the ball, safe. They were safe with the ball. Offenses in the NFL, they could run the ball. They could pass the ball. I mean, yes, maybe not having David Montgomery had an impact, but they had Jahmyr Gibbs, and they didn't really run with him. I mean, you can credit the fact that they were down by a lot, maybe, but Goff, talking about their offensive line, that is a very great offensive line this year. They have been protecting Goff, keeping him upright all season. He's been in rhythm on all of his throws. Amon-Ra St. Brown has done his thing. And a couple other guys, Sam Laporta, they were not doing anything in the first half. And we can credit that to the Ravens D-line as well. They were getting after him. On the first drive of the game for the Lions, Madubuike gets another one on him. Another one. Madubuike is playing out of his mind this year, and I love it. I absolutely love it. And then Kyle Van Noy had 2 sacks. I mean, one of them was a bad play by Goff because, oh, man, on that first Kyle Van Noy sack, it was right before halftime. Goff was scrambling. He had a man wide open. It would have been a 30-yard gain. He didn't throw it. He just kept running and got tackled. It was a sack. We got lucky right there. But, hey, if you're not going to look downfield and you're going to just have tunnel vision, be my guest. But that just shows you how Goff played that game. The Ravens defense made him get tunnel vision. The Ravens defense was all over him. He was not comfortable in that pocket at all because that's a routine read for Goff. Goff has been seeing the field very well this year. He has been very taking care of the football. He had a pick in this game, and he coughed the ball up multiple times. We just weren't able to recover it. So you could tell he was rattled. Owe, welcome back, Owe. He got a sack to start the third quarter on one of their drives and a fumble, but we just couldn't quite get the ball. It was close, but it was okay because it was 28-0 at the time. But you just love to see all these guys getting involved. I think they got to Goff 5 times. Was it 5 sacks?
Yeah, 5.
Yeah.
Yeah, 5.
So that's they definitely lead the league in sacks now because Buffalo was on top. I know they didn't sack Mac Jones 5 times. I can promise you, I can almost guarantee it. I'd have to check. But, yeah, they took
I think that Patriots offensive line was playing very well against the Bills on Sunday.
In an upset, a crazy upset. So, yeah, give it to the Ravens. The Ravens have the league in sacks, and they're generating it with guys off the street that they signed. Clowney having a great year, too. I don't think he got a sack, but he was definitely in the backfield a couple times. But, yeah, the Matabike, Van Noy, Owe, they were the stars on the D-line. Again, Patrick Queen. I didn't really see too much from Patrick Queen and Roquan. I think they were just there. I mean, that's a good thing and a bad thing. If I'm not seeing you that often, that means you're blocking stuff up. But they didn't really have to send too many blitzes this game because the D linemen were eating. They were eating. It was a scary moment for Pat Queen, though, because he went down with an injury, and we thought, oh, no, because it took a while. But he was able to get himself up and come back in the game. So it was all good. Ravens escaped with 0 injuries, which is a great thing. Great thing to see. Who else do I want to give a shout out to? Brandon Stevens held down again. Almost had a pick 6. He dropped one at the end of the game. I don't know what is going on with Brandon Stevens, but he's playing out of his mind too. Like there's people that, haven't done much in their careers, all of a sudden just playing lights out. Oh, Geno Stone, 4 picks. I mean, league leader for interceptions. And he's not even the starting safety. I mean, this is a special squad. I really hope we keep it up. I really do. Marlon Humphrey, pretty solid game overall. He did start getting picked on a little bit at the end of the second quarter. And the third, he had a bad penalty. Or was that Millette? It was either Millette or...
I think it was Marlowe, I think. I actually think it was Marlowe who got that penalty.
Marlowe grabs sometimes because he's a physical corner with man. He likes to play man, get physical. But so that's going to happen. But, yeah, make sure you stop doing that because he had one in the Pittsburgh game as well. So we need to chill out a little bit. But it's all good when you're winning. As long as it's not 4th and 10 with the game on the line and you get flagged in the end zone like you're the Colts. Oh, that was a terrible call. They should have lost that game. But yeah, just great job by the defense. This defense is playing out of its mind and playing really well. I think it's exceeding expectations because I didn't think it was going to be that great because it looked like they were going to take the same route as they always do, sign a linebacker or 2 off the street, generate pressure with blitzes. But these guys are doing their thing, and I'm enjoying every bit of it.
I love it when a good plan comes into motion. What did I keep saying over the summer before the season started? Pass rush, pass rush, pass rush. It is super important that we improve that because last year we were terrible. Now look at us, league leader in sacks. Like, it's just nice to see. Like, I wanted Jadeveon Clowney. I kept saying in each episode, listen, man, I want Jadeveon Clowney. We get Jadeveon Clowney, and his impact has been noticeable ever since his signing. Kyle Van Noy, a beautiful surprise, who I didn't even think we were going to sign him. And then all of a sudden he gets on the squad, he gets elevated from practice squad, and he's been making an impact ever since he came into it's just these guys, great awareness vets who just know what they have to do and they just get it done. And it's just been beautiful to see. Like, Clowney has been impressive. Matabike having almost like a breakout year, the way he's at it right now. Van Noy, Owe. It was great to see Owe get to the quarterback. We kept saying over and over again, Owe needs to have a season this season. And, man, if he could just do that at least once or twice, and almost at least in a couple of games, that's a huge improvement than what we've seen from him over these past couple of years, which will also be great to see. So, and with Ojabo out right now, like, we're still generating great pressure. And I love to see this from our pass rush. I've been lamenting this for a long time. We need to improve the pass rush, and boy, has there been an improvement. I love to see it. Secondary, playing really well. Arthur Millette, former Steeler, he's actually been playing pretty decent. Like, he's had some penalties here and there, but boy, he's been good with pass breakups. I think he was playing pretty decent in that Steelers game too. But I know he had that circle on the calendar.
He's getting a couple sacks too. I think he got a sack on Goff.
He has.
He got a sack on Pickett.
Yeah, so he's been playing really, really well. Another beautiful surprise. Another pickup, but a great pickup. A good vet who knows what he's doing. Rock Yassin, he's had his moments here or there. I'm really waiting for him to be like more of a factor in these games. But again, it hasn't even hit like the halfway point of the season yet. We're almost there, so we'll see how he gets, before we hit our bye week pretty soon in the next couple of weeks. I think Marlowe is just working his way in, slowly but surely recovering after the foot surgery. So I'm sure we'll get old Marlowe kind of close to the winning, after mid-season. I'm sure he'll be back to form soon. Gino, I can't say enough about Gino. Like, he's been playing really, really well. Marcus Williams, we know he's out. We're hoping for a recovery from him very soon. I keep saying, don't rush your process. Just take your time. We're playing so well right now. I'm really okay with if he just misses time, gives himself back to where he feels fully comfortable in his body and how he's feeling physically. Take your time. We would rather have you back later in the year fully healthy than having you come out there banged up. So take your time, Marcus. Rest well. We're doing pretty good for how we're doing now. So it's really great to see this defense playing the way that it's playing because, a lot of people will count us out. None of the analysts picked us to win this game. So to see the defense come out here and dominate on that, under 100 yards and a half. Beautiful to see. It was really beautiful to see.
You just got to wonder, though, too, like all these people you listed who are standouts and playing really well, is this Mike Macdonald's scheme or are these guys just hidden gems? Like, it's something I've been thinking about. Like, did that increase Mike Macdonald's value? Or are these guys just standing out? I don't know. But either way, I love it.
If it's McDonald, I don't want him to go anywhere anytime soon because,
I'm liking really Mike Macdonald's schemes a lot more than Wink. I mean, I think the situational awareness is way better than Wink Martindale. Sorry, Ryan Mink, not you. Wink Martindale for the Giants. I just didn't like his situational awareness at times. I mean, he would just cover zero it up. Even if we were missing all of our starting corners and DBs, cover zero it up, easy touchdown or first down. I just didn't like that. I think Mike Macdonald schemes up the pressure. And these guys, like we said, the linemen are stepping up to generate pressure without blitzing. And it's just like, I don't know. Maybe the rush scheme. But I love it.
I think it is part Mike Macdonald, but I feel like we also have to remember the defense was even under Wink Martindale. Like when we were banged up, like he was still having the defense keep us in games. Like, like in that 2021 season, when Lamar was hurt, we didn't have a team at all. Like, Wink's defense kept us in some games now.
You're right, but
some games that we should have gotten blown out. So
the sacks were not there.
Right.
The sacks weren't there.
Right.
The sacks were coming from safeties every time, or corners.
You're not wrong.
You didn't have a standout pass rusher aside from Justin Houston's hot start last season. Although that wasn't Wink Martindale. No, that was Mike Macdonald. I mean, listen. all it was just safeties and DB blitzes getting the majority of the sacks. You didn't have people on the line of scrimmage like outside linebackers or defensive ends getting high number sacks. This year, we've got a bunch of dudes that have at least 4.
That is true.
Van Noy with
That is very
3.
true.
Clowney should have 3 or 4, maybe. Matabike definitely has more than 4.
He has like, he has a couple.
Maybe 4 or 5, maybe. I'm not sure.
About 5. I think 5. I have to check the stats.
He should have 5. He's done a great job.
I believe it's 5.
I know Patrick Queen has a couple sacks. But yeah, you just love to. You have more of those type of guys getting pressures and sacks as opposed to strictly just safeties. I mean, I know Kyle Hamilton has 3 sacks, but he got all of those on Gardner Minshew.
In one game.
Yeah, so I don't know. I just feel like it's different. The way they generate pressure just feels different than when Wink was coordinator. And it's not as much cover 0 sacks. It's more zone blitz and coverage sacks, or just bull rushing the guys and just getting them down, which is what I want to see. I don't want to see send 7 and get sacks every time. Like, you want to be able to generate pressure with 4 or 5. And that is what I've been seeing under Mike Macdonald, at least this year primarily. And that I love that. I really love that. So that's what we want to see on the defensive side of the ball.
Yeah, it's been definitely more of a different vibe, I will say, in Mike Macdonald's defense because, like you said, we're rushing less guys and we're still getting great pressure. Under Wink, which, again, this is where my complaints were coming from with the pass rush. We weren't getting to anybody, and it was a huge problem. But now it seems as though the pressure will get there without us having to send Hamilton, without us having to send Millett. You know what I mean? We can get Matabike in there. Clowney's been great. Like, Van Noy has gotten back there. Like, so it's definitely a different vibe compared to Wink's defense to, like, Mike Macdonald's defense. I feel like Mike Macdonald should get a huge amount of credit for how he's crafted this defensive scheme and how exactly he gets the defense to play exactly how he wants them to play ever since he's been hired on as the defensive coordinator. I'd love to see it so far. We've seen flashes of his greatness since he came in. I hope it continues. But I would love to see this consistency from the defensive line because the trade deadline is looming. I don't know if maybe the Ravens will decide to make a move at that point. We got about a week before the deadline, I think. I know it's week 9, somewhere around there.
I'm down for upgrades.
Yeah,
I really am.
So we'll see what happens. But, I mean, so far, like, the defense has been playing lights out. Like, they haven't, like, no defense is perfect, but they've been playing very, very well. And I feel like Sunday was a great example of the one point we keep bringing up every single week, complementary football. The offense was scoring, and the defense was getting the other team off the field. Sunday was a perfect example of that. And it was beautiful to see. Very beautiful to see.
This whole game was just a beautiful thing to see, and I hope we see more of those type of games in our future. But, yeah, just an all-around great team win, great confidence booster, taking down the 5-1 Lions. I mean, that was a 5-1 team. They have been dominant all year long.
I think the Ravens needed that.
They did.
Confidence.
So now they know they can do. They know what they can play like. They know what kind of rhythm they can have on offense. Now they just need to replicate that and keep it rolling. So we'll see how they do next week in Arizona at 4:25.
Before we move on to Arizona, the funny thing is about this win is that nobody on the team was really satisfied about this win, and
because they know what they need.
And it was great. Like, I don't know if anybody has seen like that picture of Lamar, or that video or whatever of Lamar Jackson. Just like once the game is pretty much like done deal at this point, he's sitting on the sidelines, just like. You know what I'm saying? Like,
go watch his presser. Go watch his presser. He said the same thing.
He said it himself. Like, one regular season game, we just have to show that we can do this game in, game out. And I love the fact that they're not letting this game hype their heads up too much, and they're trying to do the best that they can to stay locked in for the rest of the year. Because, yes,
let us do that. Let us pipe them up, and they can focus on.
Let us give you that energy. But they are showing really great poise even after a great win, and it's just really nice to see because their schedule does not get better from here. So it's nice to see that they're staying locked in, they're staying focused, and going to try to replicate that performance from Sunday as much as they can. Because, like you said before, they're not going to drop 38 every game. Let's be real. Like, we have some tough opponents, so it's not going to happen every single game. But it's just great for them to see that this was not a statement game. This is just something that they know they can do on a given day. So I
Lamar
did
wasn't
enjoy
shocked
that
because he
aspect.
knows that they can do it. And
Right.
now you can tell they have their eyes set on a Super Bowl. They really want it.
They're
They
locked
want to
in.
make a playoff run. That's what he wants. He
They're
wants to
locked in.
play like this in the playoffs. So let's finish. Let's keep going. You got to get to the playoffs first. Keep it rolling. And then I'm more confident with this style of offense going into the playoffs if they make it. I hope they do. Than I was with Roman because now they have a valid passing game. They have good rhythm. They have good formations, and most importantly have better weapons. So I mean, I'm completely okay with how they are. Just saying whatever, move on. We're on to Arizona. That's fine. I love it. I mean, you could just tell what they have their hearts set on, what their goals are. They're much bigger than week to week. They're thinking about the playoff success, or actually, they're thinking about the lack of playoff success, and they want to change that this year. So I'm all in with just focusing in, keep your heads down, not over celebrating, keep it rolling, just keep it rolling, and we'll see what happens. All right, so I want to talk about a couple other games around the NFL before we get off here. Real quick, we have Monday Night Football going on, 49ers and the Vikings, with the Vikings surprisingly up by 9 in the third quarter with 7 minutes to go, and they have a third and goal in the San Francisco 2. They have a chance to go up by 16. I mean, the
Jeez.
49ers, the NFC is weak. I don't care what you all say. At this point, it's not that good. I mean, if they lose to the 2-4 Vikings, that's not a good look.
Yeah,
So we'll see
that's
if
going to be
Brock
a wake-up
Purdy and
call.
Kyle Shanahan can pull something out of their ass or something because they are in a deep hole. They should have beaten the Browns. They played with their food, missed the field goal, and that was a big yikes. I don't know what that was. I mean, they should have they had no business losing to PJ Walker. But anyway, that's 49ers. I want to talk about Dolphins real quick. Not I really want to dive into the Browns and the Steelers games, but real quick. I told you guys the Dolphins, they have yet to prove that they are a decent team. They cannot beat good teams as of now. And I told you this back when they put 70 on the Broncos. They blow out garbage can teams. I mean, every team they've beaten is 2-4 or worse. Go look it up. The best team they've beaten are the Chargers, and they're struggling at 2-4. They blew out New York. They're garbage. Tyrod, I mean, they're. I know they beat the Commanders, but the Commanders are a whole other mess. Panthers, 0-6. They've had 2 opportunities to show that they are a decent, really good team, and they have squandered both. Buffalo, who's been struggling mightily recently, gave up 48 points, lost 48-20. Like, that's not good. And then they had a chance on national television last night to take down the Eagles, the Super Bowl runner-ups, and lost 31-17. And that offense only scored 10 points because 7 of those were a pick six thrown by Jalen Hurts. I mean, this is what I've been talking to you about Tua and all this offense. It's not that great when it plays good teams. I mean, yeah, they beat up on the teams they're supposed to beat, but if you really want to take them seriously, they need to beat somebody good, and they haven't done it yet. So, again, I'm going to stand by what I've been saying about the Dolphins all year. I just don't trust them because they don't beat anyone good. I mean, I'm sorry. I mean, you want to take a look at the Ravens wins, for example. Bengals, they're 3-3. Texans, they're 3-3. Browns, they're 4-2, and they stopped them 28-3. And then 5-1 Lions. I mean, those are quality opponents. I mean, Panthers, Giants, Broncos, those are horrible. Those are bottom dwellers. So, I don't think the Dolphins are as good as people think they are. I think their record's a little high, in my opinion. What do you think, real quick?
I think definitely don't see, after these first couple of weeks, I don't see the Dolphins as much of a threat as I thought they might have been. I mean, you can kind of tell because they kind of struggled against the Patriots. And this isn't a lot, like, this isn't a knock to the Patriots because, they just took down the Bills, so shout out to them and a huge upset. But, like, they struggled against the Patriots. I mean, they got dusted by the Bills after blowing out Denver. Like, it's then you go down to Jalen Hurts and the Eagles, like
And
you
it's
need a
not even like
quality win.
why they like it's how they lost. Their offense put up 10 points.
And that's
I
supposed to
mean,
be one of the most high-powered offenses in the league.
and they're only scoring. They're struggling against these good teams. They're getting blown out against these good teams, and that is not a good look. So again, I'm not taking them. They got to play Kansas City soon. If you beat them, maybe I'll reconsider. But I don't think they're going to beat Kansas City because Kansas City's defense has really stepped up this year. And Patrick Mahomes threw for 400 yards yesterday. I mean, I think the Chiefs will run away with that one too, and
I
that'll
mean,
really put the Dolphins back there.
If Tyreek can't lead them to a win during his revenge game, that's going to be a problem.
Oh, they're going to be in the playoff race, but I just don't think they're going to be a scary threat. That's all. I mean, because they're
Yeah,
definitely a mid-tier team. They're not a garbage team. They're just not great.
and I feel like
They're not
this
good.
kind of
They're
goes back
okay.
to. I thought this kind of goes back to what I said like a couple of weeks ago. Honestly, I don't really see a lot of no one is unbeatable.
Kansas
No
City
one.
looks pretty good right now.
Kansas City, I mean, yeah, Mahomes will keep them in there, but like they haven't looked spectacular. Yesterday was probably one of the better games that they played. I'll be honest
On
with
offense,
that,
yeah.
but on offense. But this year they haven't really been like unbeatable. They haven't looked as formidable as they've looked in the past.
That's
Like,
true. I mean, the Chargers defense isn't very good, so that's true.
And so you know what I'm saying? I'm not, and this is not trying to take anything away from what the Chiefs have succeeded at so far, because obviously they're still playing well. But like they don't look like you take away Kelsey, who two people
But that's
on
the
Kelsey,
thing, though. You
and you
got
take
taken
away
away Kelsey. You say it like it's
I know,
almost
right.
impossible.
Let me not say. I'm not saying it like it's it's a walk in the park. But but if you take Kelsey out of the equation, what do you got? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not saying like those guys are scrubs. I'm not saying Kadarius Toney's a scrub. Pacheco, he's been playing great all year. Like, these guys aren't scrubs. But like, the Chiefs don't scare me.
I'll tell you.
Not
tell
yet.
you this right now. If the Ravens are firing on all cylinders, like we talked about earlier in the show, they can beat anyone in the AFC, especially with the Bills struggling like how they are. The Bills look bad right now.
I don't see why we can't beat anybody in the AFC. I really don't
give the
see how
Chiefs a run for their money and upset them. I mean, if we can get rolling in December, look out. Look out. So we'll see. We will see. All right, let's transition over to the Browns and Colts game. What a crazy game that was. 39-38 Browns victory. First of all, I thought this was the best defense in football. And they're giving up 38 to Gardner Minshew, and they should have lost. They really should have lost. But at the end of the game, P.J. Walker got hit, ball is out, recovered by DeForest Buckner, and the refs throw a flag for illegal contact. That is egregious and terrible. Why? It's a fumble. He wasn't going to get the ball to him. I don't think you're allowed to throw that flag if it's a fumble on the play. Are you? You can correct me if I'm wrong. I'm not sure.
I'm not entirely sure.
I'm not sure if you can throw illegal contact on a pass that wasn't even delivered. And it wasn't even that bad. I looked at the replay. I mean, he grabbed him a little bit, but I guess they're staying true to what they did in the Super Bowl. But it was a fumble. The quarterback got his arm hit and dropped the ball. I wouldn't have thrown that. I just hate when penalties impact the last play of the game. I really do. Even if they're late, you just hate to see a yellow marker extend the game or stop the game. But I really don't think that I think the Colts should have won that. I really think that was a great play on defense. They shouldn't have thrown an illegal contact flag, but it is what it is. But the worst one was the next play. Then they threw a flag for pass interference on a really now that one was really unquestionably bad. And they just threw it for whatever reason, essentially giving the Browns the win. And it wasn't just a 5-yard penalty; it was a pass interference to set the Browns up at the 1. And they ended up, although they did struggle, it took them to 4th and goal to do a run with Hunt to barely win. So I don't know. I still feel like the Colts should have won that. I really do.
Would have been nice if they did win it. I
Terrible.
would have felt less bad about our game.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. So the Browns defense, I don't know, must have not showed up that day. Maybe that's not as great as we say. We'll see.
They did give me 12 fantasy points though, so shout out to them for that.
Well, Myles Garrett had a great game because he had that touchdown. Myles Garrett was all over the place. So everyone but Myles Garrett had issues. Myles Garrett did his thing, 2 sacks and a touchdown. Yeah, he did great. But I don't know. Maybe I'm not going to say the Browns defense isn't that great yet because they had one bad game. But giving up 38 points to the struggling Colts offense, who got blown out by Jacksonville the week before, is not a good look, especially if you're in contention. I just can't believe the 49ers didn't beat them. I mean, they couldn't stop Minshew, and the 49ers couldn't get more than how many? 17? Like, oh, my God. It's disgusting. I feel like these AFC North teams are scrapping their way to victory to contend with us right now when we clearly have the best roster and we're on both sides of the ball. But anyway, all right, Steelers. I talked about it earlier. Now I'm going to go in depth. Another instance where the Steelers' opponent self-implodes at the end of the game, and the Steelers are the last one standing and sneak in for the dub late in the fourth quarter. Every time they do this, it's so annoying because the Rams had the game. They were playing better. They were moving the ball. They were protecting Stafford for the most part, and then they start dropping passes. Tyler Higbee was wide open at the end of the third quarter, early fourth quarter, on a 20-yard completion that would have set them up inside the red zone with a 7-point lead. Dropped it. Just right through his hands. Just unbelievable. Unbelievable. And then not only that, they settle for a field goal, and the kicker misses it. So the Steelers have a 7-point lead still. That kicker, why in the actual hell did they sign Brett Maher? I mean, that dude is horrible. I mean, what are you thinking, LA? I mean, I'm hoping by next week they have a new kicker for their sake. That dude sucks. He's so bad. He's the one that missed a NFL history record-breaking 4 or 5 PATs in the playoff game against the Bucs last year. I mean, what the heck? How do you have a job? But it is what it is. But probably the most baffling call was on 4th and 1. The Steelers decided to go for it to win the game. The Rams were trying to call timeout, get the ball back one more time to go down and tie it. Steelers go for it. QB sneak, and he's short, way short. But the referees give it to him, and that's the game. I mean, what? They are not a good team. I don't care what you say. Yeah, their offense looked pretty decent in the fourth quarter. They got their first rushing touchdown in the season in week 7 with Najee Harris. Yeah, I'm going to call him Najee because he's not good. And they're 4-2, scrapping away and barely winning games, and they're 4-2. Somebody needs to put them in their place like the 49ers did week 1 because they're not good. It should have been us. We should have blew them out, but we didn't decide not to catch the ball that day. So I don't know who's going to rise to the challenge. They play the Jags next week at home, and something tells me that the Jags are going to self-implode and they're going to lose again. I just don't. Are the Steelers good on defense? I just refuse. Maybe they're better than I'm giving them credit for because it just looks like the opponents just self-implode and make too many self-inflicted mistakes every time they play that team.
Honestly,
So
that game we had yesterday probably should – if we would have caught passes in that game yesterday, how we played yesterday probably would have been the result of that Steelers game if those guys catch the pass because we're up at least like 24 or like I think we already kicked the field goal at that point. We're already up like multiple possessions by that point. So I don't know. We beat ourselves that day. We legitimately beat ourselves that day. And I guess that comes with every single Steelers game, that the team will beat themselves
Right.
in the
Well,
fourth quarter.
can you answer
Every
this
game.
question, though? Are they better than I'm giving them, or both of us are giving them credit for? Is their defense that good?
Offensively, no. I still think offensively
Okay.
they still need to work some things out. Matt
It's
Canada,
garbage.
dude, they didn't move all in that game. They barely moved. It was like the fourth quarter when they decided to show the hell up, like in the clutch.
They
But
had 90 yards through 3 quarters against the Rams. 95.
fourth quarter they just woke up. I don't get it. I don't know why it happens like that. I don't know why they take so long to get it
Well,
together.
because
But
teams, if you play with your food, it's gonna. I like this. I heard this today on somewhere. If you keep letting your prey hang around, your prey's going to eat you eventually. I thought that was funny because that perfectly sums up the Pittsburgh Steelers. Everyone has the advantage on them every game. They're losing every game. They have yet to play a game where they've led the entire time. They're losing every game. And then the other
defense
team
wins
can't
championships,
put them
man.
away, lets
If you
them
can
hang
get stops,
around, and they
if you can get
steal the
stops,
win at the
man.
last minute.
If you can get stops, anything can happen, and that's what they get stops. The Steelers
Yeah, but
defense
they
gets
get
stops.
terrible stops. Like
Yeah,
stops
I
when
mean,
the
I'm not
receivers
saying they're
drop the
great
ball.
stops, but I'm not saying they're great stops, but I mean they get stops, and that leads them to victory. I don't know
Is
how
it a
Mike
stop,
Tomlin does
though,
it.
if your wide receivers drop the ball
No,
or if your kicker misses a field?
well,
Is that a stop?
the DB is still gonna say they strap them up. You know, they drop the ball. I don't know. I don't think it's counted a stop, but. Like, I agree, though. I feel as though every time somebody plays Steelers, it's literally just, oh, yeah, we're winning first 3 quarters, and then, like, at the fourth quarter. I don't understand what goes on.
I don't
I
give credit
don't
to them.
I don't see that it can, like, does Mike Tomlin's winning season streak continue? But so far, it's looking good because they're 4-2.
I really want to pick the Jags to win, but I just don't know. I just feel like it's going to be a nasty game, and then they're going to hang around and win it at the very end. I mean, I don't know how the Jags defense has done this year, but I didn't pick the Rams to win. I just felt like they were going to lose, just in that fashion, that exact same fashion. So I don't know. We'll see. Will the Jags get it done? I don't know. I mean, they're 5-2. They definitely have demonstrated they can win. They've won 5 straight. So can T-Law and that Jags offense carve up the Steelers? Can they limit T.J. Watt? I know that's hard to do, but and the refs always give them the benefit of the doubt as well for the most part, and it's just and the next game's being played in Pittsburgh, so yeah, I expect a lot of bad calls to go against the Jags. So I don't know. We'll see. But that's the only thing that was annoying about this weekend. Both of our AFC North rivals pulled out last-second wins off of fluky, weird, bad calls. And whatever. We'll see who's standing in December.
They got to keep
But
our
again,
division close, you know.
that's what makes it so annoying because I know we have the best. We are better than all of these rosters. I mean, arguably the Browns too. I mean, the Browns have good wide receivers and a great defense, but quarterback is where they're lacking. Ravens have the quarterback, the wide receivers, the line, the running backs, the defense, and it's just they're clear-cut the best roster at this point in the season, and they only have a half game up in the division because they couldn't take care of business against the Steelers, and the other teams couldn't take care of business of them when they had them. I mean, not so much the Colts, more so about the Steelers. The Browns, they've earned their wins for the most part. The Colts should have won, but the bad call. 49ers didn't take care of business. That I can make fun of. But, the Browns were dominant against the Titans, so they've had some nice blowout wins that they deserve. The Steelers don't blow anyone out. They struggle the whole game and lose, and win at the last second. They should lose, but it's fine. I respect the Browns more than the Steelers. That's what I'll say. But anyway, well, guys, thank you for spending your Monday evening with us. I'm going to check out the last couple minutes of this football game. It's 19-14 now. The Vikings or the 49ers were able to get a quick score to make it a 5-point game. All right, I might turn that on. in a little bit after we get out of here. But yeah, we enjoyed talking about this game. The Ravens looked very dominant on both sides of the ball. It was a great time to be a Ravens fan and go to the game. Looking forward to the next one. We'll be right here on Friday to talk about the Ravens and the Cardinals matchup, break down the pregame and the injury report. And you know all the stuff we like to do as we brace up for the 425 matchup on Sunday afternoon. But that's about all we have for here. Dom, you got any last remarks before we head on out?
No, very happy about this win. Loved everything about it. Let's take this energy from this win and let's just bring it up to Arizona and let's go get a dub, man.
Yeah.
Can't wait for the pregame show.
Yeah, it'll be great. It'll be great. Well, we're victorious in week 7. We're sitting at 5-2, first in the division by only a half game, but nonetheless, it's first place, which you can't ever complain about. So anyway, guys, thanks again for tuning in. Please leave a like and a subscription if you enjoyed. We say this every week. We're still on that same road, whatever you want to say, to 50. So please, 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 all your views matter and all your likes and your subs do matter. I know it's completely free as well if you're new to YouTube. There's no payments you have to do for subscribing or liking a video. It's just a simple tap of a button, and you don't understand how much it goes such a long way. It goes such a long way. So please, if you enjoyed, please do not hesitate to hit those. Leave a comment down below. Ask us anything regarding the NFL. We'd love to get back to you. Our email's down there too. Any inquiries are made, please hit us up. We'd love to be involved and, just talk. We like to talk football. We're very approachable. We enjoy doing this. We're just normal football fans, right? We have jobs, and we're just big Ravens fans and football fans in general. So we would love to have a conversation with any of you guys. So, yeah, please don't hesitate to use that comment section or the DMs in our IG. So, yeah. Thanks again. Anyway, this is Dom and Gonz. We'll sign out, and we'll see you on Friday.